Welcome, space scientists and engineers. Beginning mission. Build a space module structure. Mission prep time, 15 minutes. Mission duration, 60 minutes. Good luck. Mission briefing will commence in 3, 2, 1.
In 2009, NASA learned that the moon contains millions of tons of water ice. Since then, NASA has been working on our mission to send astronauts back to the moon. These astronauts will need to be able to live close to the moon while conducting their research. And that is where Gateway comes in. Gateway, a vital component of NASA's Artemis missions, will serve as a multi-purpose outpost orbiting the moon, just like the International Space Station orbits the Earth. Like the International Space Station, Gateway will be made up of modules. You can think of a module as a room in a house. Each module has its own function, but when you put them together, it creates a house and workspace for the astronauts. These modules include storage, robot systems, science and research labs, and living space. Your mission is to create a space module, just like the ones used to keep astronauts safe in space, as a prototype for Gateway. For this mission, each team of scientists and engineers will be given a cardboard tube, soda can, or any small, lightweight cylinder. Mass for testing. You may use lead weights, coins, large washers, or similar. 30 pieces of uncooked spaghetti noodles for each team. Clear tape or a low-temperature glue gun with cool melt glue. Index cards, paper, and something to write with for recording the mass held during the testing. Scissors, a metric scale to measure the mass held, and a ruler. Remember, your mission will fail if you use any extra materials or materials not initially provided. To begin, each team will start with 25 pieces of dry spaghetti noodles and 50 centimeters of one-sided tape, or one small glue stick if using a low-temperature glue gun. Teams will use these materials to build a structure that will fit the cylinder provided completely and securely inside of it. It also needs to sit on one end for testing. Now notice there are no examples shown, since that would defeat the purpose of you using your own creativity and innovation to come up with a design for your structure. But remember, teams are only allowed to use the supplies provided. If you make a mistake, you must reuse materials. When building is done, teams will test their structures by increasing the mass on the top of the design. The total mass held will include both the weights and the index card used to test. Be sure to test the module frame standing upright on its end, oriented like a soda can. And remember to build your structure large enough that there's a gap between the top of the cylinder and the spaghetti structure. Now keep adding mass slowly until one or more of the following happen. One of the pieces of spaghetti breaks. The end of one of the pieces of spaghetti is detached from the tape or the glue. Any of the spaghetti pieces bend to the point of touching the top of the cylinder. Then record the mass held before the module frame began to fail. After initial testing, each team will use the last 5 spaghetti noodles and 10 centimeters of tape for improvements. Teams should test a second time and record the new mass held by their structure. Before you begin your build, remember that Gateway will be launched in parts, just like the International Space Station. Each year, NASA will send more astronauts with new parts until Gateway is complete. Since each component is launched into space, NASA engineers use materials such as aluminum, titanium, Kevlar, and high-grade steel to ensure the components are lightweight so it's easier to launch, but strong enough to withstand the tough conditions of the launch and space. Keep this in mind as you build your space module structure. Once your initial prototype is complete, evaluate your build. Were you successful in completion of the mission? Answer the following questions to truly complete the mission. To take this mission a step further, repeat the challenge using different materials for the structure. Or build a new structure to protect a taller cylinder. Or add a cost constraint to the project. See if you can stay on budget during your build. Good luck, space scientists and engineers. We are counting on you to make the Gateway mission a success. And remember, all of this is classified.